After years of chasing what most would call the American dream,
we knew there had to be more adventure out there.
That's why we decided to sell it all and live life differently.
Our family has spent the last 2 years traveling the United States as nomads,
Meaning we never stay in one place for too long,
experiencing as much as possible,
and learning all along the way that change doesn't equal failure,
and different doesn't equal wrong.
and we call that embracing your
Adventurous spirit.
Welcome back to the Adventurous Spirit Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Chris, and this little smashing pumpkin across from me is my wife, Noelle.
Hey, everybody.
Make sure to subscribe to the Adventurous Spirit Podcast on wherever you like to consume your podcasts. Feel free to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Adventurous Spirit with one S, and also follow us on Facebook and YouTube at the Adventurous Spirit with two S's, so you can see just how fashionable we can be.
You are rocking that TLC shirt today.
I don't want no scrubs.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
And you got some...
I've got the Smashing Pumpkins on.
Yep, that makes sense. We are bringing you a brand new episode each and every Wednesday, so join the family, follow along, and embrace your adventurous spirit. Yeah. And we got a good one for you today.
We really do.
Well, what do we have planned for them?
We've got a great show lined up for you guys today. We're taking you on a full-time family adventure where we take you along our most recent family-friendly travel find, and this one was mesmerizing. Then we're going to get a little witchy, the part of the show where I share with you a holistic health tip that will help support your mind, body, and spirit. Then we're going to close out the show with new band name, where Chris shares with you different things that me and the kids have said that he thinks would make a good band name. But first, do you smell that?
It wasn't me.
What's burning?
It's burning.
What's Burning, the part of the show where we discuss hot topics and burning questions. And today, we're talking about songs that turned 20 years old in 2024.
There's a lot of them.
This is like the best year musically, apparently.
The early 2000s, man, we were...
I think I was 16 in 2004.
16, 17, both of us.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how spoiled we were.
Disco Inferno by 50 Cent, the... Little mama, show me how you move it. Go ahead, put your back into it.
Ooh, Pieces of Me.
Ashley Simpson.
Miss Simpson, if you're nasty.
All the pieces.
I think I know how to play this one.
Pieces of me. Oh, as if you knew me better than I ever knew myself.
I love how you
Can tell.
the pieces.
Pieces of me. Okay, next is Under My Skin by Avril Lavigne.
I think that's the whole album.
Oh, it is, huh? So was that Skater Boy and all of that?
No,
it was the album after that, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, the one with the X on the sleeve.
She was straight edge back then, or what?
I actually don't know, because that was the straight edge symbol, right?
X's on the hands.
Yeah.
On the palms, yeah.
Ooh, question. Does anybody know what straight edge means? Because it wasn't that, I don't know if anybody uses that anymore, but like that was a big deal back then. You used that as like, oh, I'm straight edge. And it's like, oh, okay.
I think it just meant that you're sober.
Right. But I'm saying, does anybody know that straight edge means sober? I'm curious. Did you know? Oh, okay. So this had Nobody's Home. That's a really sad song. And My Happy Ending.
So much for my happy ending.
Oh. And I thought we could be. You were everything that I wanted. We were meant to be, supposed to be, but we lost it. I can't sing that high. I mean, I can't sing at all, as you can see, but woo, Avril Lavigne can really go. Some of her songs are like unkaraokeable. She has pipes.
She's got some pipes. She knows what she's doing.
Okay, so number 4 is 1985 by Bowling for Soup.
I have a funny story about this band.
Do you?
When I was in one of my first bands, we were touring through Texas.
Okay.
And our guitar player, Corey, he got sick and was in the hospital in Lubbock, Texas, in the middle of summer. So he got stuck in the hospital for like 3 days. So we're stuck outside of the hospital, just kind of sweating in our van, and we're literally just sitting outside the van one day. And these people come up to us and they're like, "Hey, are you guys like playing a show tonight?" And we're like, how do you maybe, but like, how did you know that? Like nobody knows who we are.
And you're in a hospital parking lot?
Yeah. And they thought that we were the band Bowling for Soup because this song had just come out. And so they thought that we were, somehow they just put 2 and 2 together and said, "You guys are Bowling for Soup." We didn't correct them either. They just, I think we took some pictures with them, maybe signed an autograph. But that was a weird interaction.
Oh my gosh.
So every time I think of this band, that's the story that comes up.
Well, that was probably a huge compliment for all you guys getting mistaken for an actual famous band.
Take what I can get, sure.
Goodies.
Not goodies. Not my goodies.
We really liked the whistle in the early 2000s.
That's all you needed. That was an entire song.
The whistle and like the jingle. Like the bells.
Oh, yeah. The Santa bells.
The Santa bells and the whistle. We were like, throw that in any song and it's a freaking banger. Gasolina. Gasolina. Wow. I was like unshamefully.
You're a sucker for Daddy Yankee.
I actually had no idea that's who it was by, but that song got me every time.
Destiny's Child was still around in 2004.
Of course they were.
Lose My Breath.
Baby boy, I lose my breath. In the noise, I lose my breath. Hit me high and I lose my...
Yeah. I'm a huge Destiny's Child fan, but you can have that one.
Sure. But Just Lose It by Eminem. Go
Go
crazy. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Oh, man.
Papa's got a brand new bag of toys. I had every Eminem album. Well, this one's all for you. American Idiot by Green Day.
That whole album. That's a good album. Green Day has been one of my favorite bands since I was like 6 years old.
Yeah, that's your...
In the 90s.
That was
like the first band I ever even like knew about,
I never really... I don't know why. It kind of doesn't make any sense, but like I knew the songs that played on the radio, but like I never really listened to Green Day.
Still one of my favorite bands. And they had kind of fallen off before this album came out. They were like old guys in 2004. And then they came out with this album and just completely like jumped right back into the spotlight and became like the biggest band ever.
I mean, with the eyeliner and the ties. I wasn't listening to them, but
Billy Joe.
I looked just like him in high school. Then Gwen Stefani dropped Holla Back Girl on us.
Yeah, she ditched No Doubt and came out with this.
Ain't no holla back girl. There ain't no holla back girl. Round that track, so it's not just gonna happen like that. Cause there ain't no holla back girl. There ain't no holla back girl. And then our cute little one-hit wonder, I think, because I've never heard of him after this, is Jesse McCartney, Beautiful Soul.
Your beautiful soul.
No, you and your beautiful soul.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want another pretty face. I don't want just anyone to hold. I don't want my love to go to waste. I want you and your beautiful soul. Yeah. Oh, man. And then we had freaking Leave by JoJo.
Leave, Get Out by JoJo.
Get out right now. It's the end of you and me. It's too late. I can't wait for you to be gone.
Oh, and then the Queen.
The Queen.
The American Idol. Kelly Clarkson.
With Since You've Been Gone.
The Breakaway album.
Since you've been gone, I couldn't breathe for the first time. I'm so moving on, yeah. Thanks to you, now I get what I want. Since you've been gone. That was like a huge crush for you, wasn't it?
Huge crush. And not so much like, oh, I love her. I mean, I did have a crush on her, but I was more just like, I was a fan. She was like my Taylor Swift for a while. Like, I was like, dude, Kelly Clarkson's badass. And she like earned it. You know, she won.
Right.
She's American Idol, dude. Like,
well, I think what you told me is that you had a crush on her because it felt like somebody that you could actually date.
well,
That's like what you said to me. You were like, 'cause it felt like it was like a possibility
she was just
to
like one
date
of
Kelly
us.
Clarkson. Then we've got Yeah by Usher.
Dude, that's the king of 2004.
The king of 2004, and I would say that's like the song of the century. You want to feel good. You want to get the party going. You want to get everybody on the dance floor. Which song are you going to pick? What song?
If your song ends with featuring Lil Jon and Ludacris,
it's over. It's all over.
you're going to play the Super Bowl halftime.
2024.
Whenever you want. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Boom, bam, boom, bam.
Those are all the songs that turned 20 in 2024, according to this BuzzFeed article. But I think we need to go down into the depths of my personal music collection in 2004.
What were you really listening to?
Because I was not really listening to any of that.
No?
No. So the song that came out in 2004 that was everything to me was Rose of Sharon by Killswitch Engage.
Switch Engage.
That whole album, The End of Heartache, was like I can still see me walking into Hot Topic and that shirt, that album cover, the heart with all of the needles in it was right up on the wall. Best believe I said, one of those, please. Put it in my Hot Topic bag. I'm probably buying another studded belt because mine broke and I can't be seen dead without one. I don't know how many studded belts I bought. Like, why couldn't they just make one that like lasted? But if you wore it every single day, it would just like fall apart eventually.
Start losing studs.
Well, then that was cool because then you could like buy a bunch of the little stud replacements and then you could put black ones in and rainbow ones in. And then pretty soon you just have like, or put pins. Sometimes I would put just like a random like Edward Scissorhands pin or something where I lost a stud.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because you know how you could just buy all those like pins at the register at Hot Topic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 04 was banging.
04 was freaking banging.
So many good songs.
I think I saw on the Basement Yard, they talked about songs that turned 20 and 24 too. And Joey, I think it was Joey, he was like, how did we get anything done in 2004? Like,
everyone's just dancing all
we're
year.
Just bopping along because all of these are bangers. And it didn't matter what genre.
We
it was
had
just
Usher,
like,
we
here.
had Avril, we had My Chemical Romance.
We had Straight Light Run. We had Killswitch Engage.
They were all just kids, just jamming, man.
Ooh. I can't wait for next year when we can talk about songs that turned 20 in 2005 or 2025 because 2005, dare I say, better than 2004? All right, now it's time to head on over to the next segment, a full-time family adventure.
Hey, that's what we used to be called.
Yeah. Another full-time family adventure where we take you along our most recent family-friendly travel find. And this one was super fun and amazing. We went and saw Mesmerica at the local museum at their planetarium.
Yeah.
What's Mesmerica?
Yeah, Mesmerica is the product of this guy named James Hood. He is a musician and
Composer,
creator, and he makes these instrumental concert type things that go along with these visual, it's real like abstract, like trippy, psychedelic experience almost. It's basically like as close as you can get to a psychedelic experience without actually being on psychedelics.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was amazing. So many different like feelings happened during it. It was like, I remember when it first started, I got a little choked up for some reason. It like made me feel really emotional at first. And then it was like, just took me on this really nice, relaxing journey of just like mental relaxation. And the music was just, I could listen to that soundtrack all the time.
I mean, your job is to just lay there and
enjoy
it, take it in. like try not to move, just stare ahead.
And I believe that James Hood created this along with some other neuroscientists.
Right. So there's some science behind how you're supposed to feel when you watch it.
It was carefully curated. It was definitely designed with intention. Yeah, I don't know if you're somebody who's been to a sound bath either or dabbled in those, but it very much was just a cleansing and relaxing sound bath, guided with some amazing visuals as well.
Yeah. Or if you've never been to a planetarium, this is a cool thing to go check it out if there's one by you.
So check out Mesmerica and see if there is a showing close to you. Now it's time to get a little witchy.
Yay.
The part of the show where I share with you a holistic health tip that will help support your mind, body, and spirit. Today we're talking about solfeggio frequencies. Have you heard of solfeggio frequencies?
I think I understand. It's like healing frequencies, like sound waves that are designed for certain like parts of your brain and soul and stuff.
Yeah, good job. Different frequencies that are calibrated, I guess, to a certain hertz level. And depending on this hertz level, the thing that sucks about solfeggio frequencies is that most of medical Western medicine would claim this to just be kind of like hocus pocus and what have you. But there are just some compelling reasons why we should be listening to certain types of frequencies because our bodies respond to them in a certain way.
Everything is just vibrations.
And depending on that certain vibration, you can see a certain result in something. Like you can put a puddle of water and turn on a frequency and watch the water change and shift and move and turn into different patterns. And us as human beings, we are mostly made up of water. So you can only imagine that frequencies are impacting us the same way, if not more. So here's where you can get a little witchy and take things into your own hands at home by just listening to the 7 different solfeggio frequencies. Each frequency is known to have its own benefit, but if you keep these on, in your household, in your earbud, in your ear while you're at work, obviously being careful of which ones you listen to, they can benefit a lot of things, including reducing your stress, having fewer mood swings, lowering your blood pressure, aiding in pain management, improving your sleep, repairing your DNA. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But solfeggio frequencies is another way to really support your nervous system. Specifically, and I know we've talked about this a lot in episodes past, your parasympathetic nervous system, which allows you to rest and digest, my favorite. I think I'm just always trying to find the best way to support that because that provides you with your ability to rest and digest, your ability to actually heal. So it's just supporting, once again, your immune system and your ability to heal, stay healed, and to feel good.
Yeah. Have you looked into like cymatics and stuff? How different frequencies, like on a vibrating plate with like sand and stuff, and how different frequencies will produce like crazy intricate geometric patterns and stuff.
Yeah, because did you know that cymatics, that's all based off of sacred geometry? At least that's how I came into knowing about all of this, and I'm probably going to butcher the correct facts of this, but it was sacred geometry, these shapes that were found. I don't know where. This is where I don't know all the information, but they found these like, old ancient drawings, and they were these shapes on the wall. And then it just so happened that they discovered that those shapes were based on these frequencies, that these frequencies make these shapes. So we can honestly say that we know these sounds were being listened to centuries ago. So that's where sacred geometry is born. That's where sound healing is born. I mean, it's not something that we're just like making up.
I'm convinced that's how they built the pyramids.
Me too.
Was with some type of like sound technology. Because we already know that's, you get a high enough vibration, it will move matter.
Yeah.
So
and
who's to say they didn't have this in the back of their pocket and like could like play a sound and move a 50-ton brick.
Well, and call me a conspiracy theorist, and you can. But yeah, I totally believe and imagine that they were doing this and creating this with their voices.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like megaphones and stuff?
Not megaphones, but a mass amount of people getting together and both projecting the same frequency. You could all lift a really big stone together if you got enough people to assist. Just saying. Okay, so apparently you've been keeping a list or keeping track of things that me and the kids have said to you that you believe would make a good band name.
So yeah, we're talking about music, and I've played in a bunch of bands myself. So I'm constantly hearing things, and I'm like, ooh, good band name. And I write them down. I've been listening to what you and or the kids, you guys will say things sometimes. And I'm like, perfect band name. So I have a few here.
Okay, what you got?
This one comes from Cade. We were at the store and we're walking by, I think we're in Walmart, and we're walking by like all the milk. There's a bunch of gallons of iced tea and stuff. So it's like milk, and then iced teas. And I just hear Cade go, what is that black milk? I'm like, black milk? What are you talking about? And I look over and I'm like, oh, that's just iced tea. And it just made me laugh, black milk. So then I was like, black milk is a dope band name.
I can see that.
Black Milk.
Wow.
And this one you said, I forget the context fully. Oh, I think you were trying to come up with Miley Cyrus's dad's name.
Oh.
And you said, well, who is that? Randy Cyrus?
Randy Cyrus.
So Randy Cyrus is an amazing band name. I think you're Randy Travis and Billy Ray Cyrus. I think you're mixing them up. We're both great.
One of the country folks.
But Randy Cyrus would be like a cool like pop punk band name.
You think so?
Oh yeah. I mean, I might hold on to that one just in case. And this other one, talking about something in your Gothic days, and you said the Dark Nights of the Soul.
Oh yeah, I know those very well, and that would be an awesome band name.
Yeah, so I was like, dude, Dark Nights of the Soul. Best band name ever.
So I started a band once. I mean, it was kind of just like a made up band.
With your friend, huh? It was not a real band.
Not a real band, but it was like, if I was in a band, like, this is what...
You gotta have a name.
Yeah, and I think it's the best name of all time. I kind of don't want to say. The Imbrued.
The Imbrued.
The Imbrued. Because let me give you the definition of imbrued, and I know this by heart. To be soaked or stained, especially in blood.
Especially, so you can be imbrued with like chili sauce?
You could, to be soaked or stained, but if you're saying you're imbrued, it's like you're soaked or stained, especially in blood. So I wanted my band name to be called The Imbrued.
I don't hate it. Sounds cool.
But you were actually in several bands, so why don't you tell us all of your actual band names?
I've been in lots of bands. My first band, we were called Buck 50. Super proud of that.
Buck 50.
The number band thing back in the day.
But you were Buck spelled out B-U-C-K.
U-C-K.
And then 50.
50. Buck 50. And then we changed our name to Sure Shot for like 2 weeks. And then we kind of stopped playing. And then we all got into our emo days, came back together and formed Forever My First.
And that's what I've heard a lot about.
Forever My First was like, and I always hated that name.
What?
Freaking hated that name.
Oh, that's a great band name.
Forever My First.
Forever My First. Who's not listening to that band?
There was a lot of people not listening to that band.
I would have listened to that band.
Yeah.
I would have been all over that band.
And then, or
at least the bass player.
And I was in Heroes Die Trying.
I
do like that name.
And then it was Just Like Thieves.
And then it was Just Like Thieves for a brief moment. And then it was Abaid.
And that's when I met you.
That was the reggae band I was in, Abaid.
I fell in love with the bass player from Abaid.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. And then it was Bueller.
And then Bueller.
The band Bueller. Technically was the full name, the band Bueller.
Yeah. And that was the last band. So I got to see you perform 2 different bands, Abaid and the band Bueller.
Yeah. Good times.
Great times. Boo! We've reached the end of today's episode. But that never means the adventures do. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the family, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss next week's episode. And remember, adventure is out there, so go on and embrace your adventurous spirit.
Thanks, guys.
See you on the next one.
Later.